There we go.
Well.
Hello and welcome back to the Buffalo Plus channel. Mike, Dan, I'm Jenna. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. We just finished up watching episode number 2 of Hard Knocks. I see people commenting in. Tell us what you like about the episode. Tell us what you thought you want to see more of. But guys, I want to get your impressions of episode number 2. And unfortunately, we were not in it.
Well, I think we kind of knew that we weren't going to be in it. I don't know if we're going to make it. We had fun the day it was all shot. You guys got to see the podcast. So you guys who watch us see us all the time. So if you don't see us on Hard Knocks, so be it. We would have liked to have been on. I thought it was entertaining for this reason. I like seeing the football stuff. I like the meeting stuff. I like the mic'd up players, even the stuff we don't hear all the time. And obviously, Dan, KJ is a treasure.
Yes. That was my big takeaway. Sorry, I was just getting we're also on X. This is live streaming, not in the Buffalo Plus one. It's on mine. Sorry, that was just the only one that I had instant access to.
Oh,
you need a
really?
So you need a premium.
I thought we were scheduled on the yeah, well, go ahead.
We were. It's not premium, so now it's up.
On your premium.
Steal.
Yeah, Mike, that was like, if we go chronologically after the being upset that we weren't on it again. But moving on, I did think the meeting room stuff to me is the coolest stuff about Hard Knocks. I felt the first episode felt like an episode of Embedded. And that's a compliment to Embedded by how good of a job the Bills do at that product. But it was really kind of cool to get to see, like, they're talking about this team as a football team. Like it wasn't just like, it reminded me of all of the other episodes of Hard Knocks that we've seen. So yeah, for Sean to say, consistency and nothing's new and that kind of stuff, I thought was really cool.
I realize I don't say the word bro enough. I felt like every other word was bro. It's like bro this, bro. You can, like, dang, man, I don't say bro at all. I got to work that in.
Jenna, you need to work it in, like, stop interrupting me, bro. You could say that to either one of us.
I'm sure I'll say that tomorrow now. But no, I thought that was one of the things. I mean, there were so many like little plot points within the episode, though. I guess I forgot, like, looking back at like last year with the Bears, all that stuff, how they're able to kind of weave in so many different backstories of, Buffalo Joe and Sean McDermott's skin cancer journey. Obviously the stuff with DeMar, like that point, how they're able to do all that and weave it all together is really cool to me.
Yeah, the Buffalo Joe was interesting. Obviously, we kind of called that, I think, when we knew that Hard Knocks was going to be with the Bills. I don't think he's had a good camp. And they kind of showed those plays of like the coaches kind of like, those are the plays that have stood out to me where it's like been a nice completion. I've been like, Andreessen was in the wrong spot. So it was kind of funny to see a little bit of that, because last year it was like, who is this guy? And then he made so many plays. And to even see Bean's response to dropping the interception, like, got to catch that, Joe.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was very interesting.
So I put this up. Josh had this comment. I remember Buffalo Plus talking about that Ty hit was spot on. I remember Ty was down and they were
for a
mad.
while.
And I couldn't hear what Vandermark was saying. We just said, basically like, do not take a guy down at that side. That happens sometimes in a practice where you can tell when guys get a little pissed because, Ty Johnson went down, and that was, it's Ty Johnson, and it was the day I think James was doing the hold in. So it was not a great day for the backs, but it was a good thing he was okay. Yeah. I mean, some of the comments from Bean, they love saying Mitch is a great athlete.
Okay. Are we going to go chronologically, or are we just going to throw stuff around?
Sorry. Do you want to
Whatever
go
you would like. Dan, go ahead.
But-
Let's go right down the list. That's fine.
Well, I mean, we all took notes, so I just thought
Yes.
like the James Cook Holden, wild the way they covered it. Like it was no big deal. Like that was one of those things where I'm watching it going, Bills have final edit of this. Like it was very bizarre.
They did it almost like they knew today James was going to show up at practice.
It was very Bills PR forward and not like the other thing of what he said about business and kind of the shock by all of us that he started a Holden 7 days into camp. I just thought they like brushed it under the rug. Like, yeah, James is holding in, but he's in meetings. And then like the running backs coach is like, you can leave. Like he just left a meeting. Like it was, I was like, this is a very rose-colored glasses way of looking at your star running back. Just be like, he's just taking a little time. You're like, he's not practicing.
Holdens aren't like, or holdouts aren't like what they used to be. I'm like, well, it's still, I mean, I get it. They're at the facility, they're in meetings, but still, it's not nothing, especially for that's never really had this before.
Especially at the game where I think we could all tell Sean was a little annoyed by the whole thing. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, yes, it is still the NFL and it is still going to definitely, fans were worried about it being too negative. I don't think you got to worry about that.
Yeah. We were like, this is going to be in episode 1. Like, holy cow, they're going to have to fit this in. And they like shoehorned it in for like 2 minutes. Like, yeah, by the way, James Cook's not playing. You're like, that's it? Like, it seems to be a much bigger thing. I don't know. So that was just one of the things where I was like, that was very PR controlled via Hard Knocks.
What was the next thing?
Ray Davis. Awesome.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Like I figured as soon as they got into Ray being, the kicker, all that stuff, like they would transition into his backstory, being a foster child, growing up homeless, like all this stuff. And they're just like best running back / extra point kicker. I was like, oh, I figured they would work that in somehow.
I was telling Jenny, for you watching my wife during it, and I go, Ray has come up to me twice now and asked me, when are we winning an Emmy? Is what he said. So Ray's on board with Jenna and her Emmy nomination, and now to see if they win. But on his backstory, which you're right, like how is that not as big a story as that was for Bills fans? I don't think necessarily the whole country knows Ray Davis's backstory.
Yeah,
and I figured by now they would have gone with that, but especially in these circumstances.
That's what I was expecting. Sorry,
yeah.
That's what I was expecting, because you think of his play, how with James Cook being out, like him being elevated in terms of that. And then, the backstory is like, are they using a Jenna filter?
Oh, we look dorky.
Jenna. Wow,
Tim,
Dan.
Thank you so much.
Jeez.
Big
wow,
Tim
taking a shot.
Chanel fan.
Full disclosure, when we watched the first episode together, Jenna walked in and I went, you got ready.
Yeah, episode 2 did not get ready.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really funny. Okay. All right.
KJ Hamler. I think credit to me, I think I did throw him out there that he could be a star. I think when we talked about it, I did say like sneaky KJ Hamler from your mic when you talked to him last year about like knowing Rochester.
And he went off on garbage plates. And he was like, oh, I know garbage plates. It's like he knew all that, and he was great.
The Scoot 3000 was an awesome, just all of those were so clippable moments of
the bell on the scooter.
He goes, I think a squirrel took the other one was so good. Like it was like they wrote lines for him. That was how funny he was.
He was mic'd on the touchdown, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, oh.
He goes, I get this out. He's like, I was saying like, oh shit. And then he goes and then you show the clip of him and he's running down the field going, oh shit, like I'm open. Was so good. The Sean McDermott stuff, I think we had known a little bit about the skin cancer stuff. It was cool to tie it back. Cool. Thoughtful.
No, I think it was cool. I think it
with
is.
Jim Johnson.
Yes, and the idea, because you see people don't know, Sean wears a lot of protective clothing, but he's been through that, and he's not the only person in the world. I mean, it is a real concern, and I think to have a guy in his position talk about it like that, when sometimes people can be a little dismissive of it, I thought that was kind of cool for him. I thought that was good.
I interrupted you. I apologize, bro.
Let's start that trend.
No, I do think Sean is such a I don't want to say guarded, but obviously he doesn't really share a lot of his personal life. Like, we know a lot about Sean in terms of the persona of Sean, but the personal side of Sean, I feel like he is very private in that way. So hearing his backstory about, I didn't realize how in depth it went truly, and him talking about on his nose, like having to keep cutting like, away, and just you see Sean on a hot day wearing the big hat and the sleeves and all that stuff. But once you peel back the layers and learn the reasons why, A, it makes more sense, but B, it's also humanizes him in a way that I think sometimes we forget about. But I also just loved like some of the things, and Dan, you mentioned this earlier, like being inside the meeting rooms in places that we are not normally allowed, like hearing what Sean has to say about the message of even consistency, and how, it's such a preseason game, number one, for a lot of these guys, it is literally like make or break for them in their NFL careers. What kind of tape can they put out there? But him talking about how you've already done the work, like putting his players at ease so they can play comfortable and play fast. Like just some of the messaging that you saw from Sean, it was just another side of him that I think we really haven't seen as much.
Hamler Scooter is getting a lot of airtime, and it is. Again, I think they put it in the second one after the first clip went so viral of just that of it.
So where do you think the scooter came from? Do you think that a scooter company just sent him to him, right? And they get, he's talking about it. That was cool. I don't think there's any doubt.
One of I honestly think the coolest moment of the episode for me, outside of the funny moments of KJ being the national treasure that he is, was calling Marv Levy.
Yeah.
Again, Mike, I've never met Marv Levy, and you have a great story about Marv Levy that I want you to tell, but it's so funny, like Marv answering the phone like it was a landline. And maybe it was a landline, but like answering it like, hello? And it's like, hey, it's Sean McDermott from the Buffalo Bills. Like that, like when you call your grandparents and you're like, hey, it's me. That was a very genuine, sweet interaction. And to see Marv at, Sean's face after hanging up the phone, like, now we can start our day. Like, what a great interaction. I thought that was really cool to see.
Now, I will say a couple things about Marv. Marv is an incredible human being who is still pretty sharp. I mean, he is 100 years old, and he and Sean have had a lot of interactions. And I mean, he's been there. He was there when he first got hired. Like, Marv has been around the team, comes in just about every year for a game. And so we hope that he comes in again this time. So it was a phone call, but they've spoken. It's not like he's never talked to him. And Sean is always so gracious when it comes to Marv. And Marv is that guy. Like, Marv knows his place in the franchise, but he's rooting for Sean. He always has been from the beginning. He's been a supportive guy for the coaches. So I thought that was, you're right. I thought that was cool that they made that connection, and they put it on the show. The story real quick was, I mean, I got to cover Marv as a coach. Then I did the games with him in the preseason, which was awesome, when I was a sideline reporter. And we sat at lunch before a game, and Marv says, Michael, I want to tell you something. And I'm like, okay. And I was listening, and we were sitting there, and he said, anytime you're doing one of these games and you got to get dressed up for TV, make sure you carry one of those shout wipes with you. And I always carry a shout wipe, and I was waiting for like something from MacArthur or Patton or Churchill, and he gave me carry a shout wipe. So I listened to the coach. and carry a sharp white. It makes a lot of sense too. He's always planning. So preparing every game to be your best.
I thought it was so sweet. Like just seeing that interaction and like honestly, it reminded me of like calling my grandpa where he's like, oh, like the surprise of it probably being a landline and like, oh, and then Marv being like, you're so busy. That's so nice of you to call when it's like, dude, you're literally turning 100. Like you're so sweet to think that that's sweet of him. I thought that
he was really at the Hall of Fame. They sang happy birthday to him at the Hall of Fame. It was awesome for Marv. So good for him and good for Sean.
I just love the thought of Mike being like, oh, I can't wait to hear what deep football knowledge history he's going to get. And he's like, a shout wipe. And you're like, yeah, thanks, Marv. You're right. And he always carries a sharp wipe.
A what?
Shout wipe. Sharp wipe.
There was a lot on DeMar, but
yes.
I think it's also a little bit of a reminder. He's still here and he's still playing. And I believe there's someone on this panel who has said he's going to start week 1, and it's leaning that way, Dan.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think it may have been close to that. I think it was a sharp wipe.
Oh,
was what it was. Yeah, but
Dan.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also, Man of War, appreciate it. Thank you so much. Again, like, comment, subscribe, obviously all the videos and stuff like that. The DeMar stuff was deep.
Yeah.
Was deep stuff. And again, Mike, you and I were there.
Yeah.
And hearing Josh, obviously this time later, even him seeing like, you don't really forget that kind of day and that moment. And again, not making this about it, but like, I just remember like being on the field and being shaken up as he's not my teammate. It's just a person that you don't know is going to make it. So
when you saw
tastefully done was nice. Yeah.
When looking back at that video and you see Trey and you see the emotion on those guys and the fear of that day. And now you just casually, like, you see DeMar all the time playing and still playing in a role for this team. And like I said, it might be a starter. So I think it's good that they did that in at least one of the episodes. So I thought that was cool to see.
I thought also too, like taking us back to that day in Cincinnati, it is wild to think about the journey that he has been on, and then to have him, what happened then, and then the video of him like making tackles and just showing the physicality of the game from what was such a scary situation to now, I think it puts into perspective just the journey that he has been on, and then truly like how much he has had to overcome, which is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I thought seeing Josh going through some of those things with the receivers was really cool. That to me, like having the iPad out at practice and being like, telling Keon, like, I need you here. And talking to Shavers, like, why were you outside? You got to be inside. Like those kind of things where we've talked about it, or I know I've harped on it before, but like that butcher and surgeon, like, I don't think that was Josh his first few years.
Yeah.
And now to see the level of perfection. Oh, really?
You froze for a second.
Terrible
I just thought you were
here.
pausing. I thought it was a dramatic pause.
Like, I thought that was really interesting to see. Like, that's kind of what you always saw with like the great quarterbacks of like, I need you here. You got to be doing this. Like we talked about, like pushing these wide receivers, like being hard on them. I liked seeing those kind of moments.
I agreed. I wrote down the same thing watching it, Jenna, and I was thinking it's in the Josh way. It was not, it was still semi-positive, but it was more like, I need you there. It was that way, but a little more demanding because we don't hear him in those settings. And I like that. I think he should be that way.
1,000%. I think of like one of the reasons why Brady was so good was because he could get after guys and he'd say, I'm not throwing to you. I don't trust you, all this stuff. And he had Edelman and other players to, call other players out. But to hear Josh be, and the word is perfect, demanding. And honestly, we've been waiting to see that because Josh is such a nice guy and we know how he is and he's always lifting his teammates up. But I think to be a great leader, you also have to be like, hey, I need you to do this better. I need to maximize what you can do for me and for our team in this moment. And this is what I expect of you. And this is where you need to deliver. And I think that's a mature Josh Allen. And you're right. We would not see that Josh Allen in 2018, 2019, probably 2020, but now where he's at in his career. And I think that's a big, important step because having accountability, like this team goes as Josh Allen does, but there's also a level of you need to perform to help this team go. So I just thought it was really nice to see kind of that level of like not being a jerk, but just like accountability.
Yeah. And like Ryan is saying this, and that was in the case with the other guys getting open. And I really do think that's a good point, the accountability. And Josh Allen is saying that to you, like Dan, you did the piece with White Steve and was cool, but him talking about, wow, I'm in the huddle with Josh Allen. Well, that's cool to be in the huddle with Josh Allen. The other thing is to do what Josh Allen needs you to do. And when he's telling them that's the spot I need, that is where it becomes, if you're not there, you ain't getting the ball. And I think that's what can make the entire room better and everybody play better. And they got some of that last year. And it was pretty obvious because Mac Hollins got to spots last year and Josh got him the ball. So it's available for any of those guys in order to get their opportunity. I wanted to ask you guys, they said the party that Terry Pagula threw was for anybody who's anybody. Where was our invite?
I think I got caught in the mail. I'm expecting that. It'll be here tomorrow.
I like champagne.
Yeah. Looks like it was a nice little party.
It did look nice.
Yeah.
Look nice.
Yeah. Maybe next year. What do you think?
They love having the media there.
No.
Yeah.
JP's comment, Dan?
That's awesome. That's the winner. That's the winner.
That's the winner, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That is so funny.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. No, it really is. Honestly, that is hilarious. Well, we can approach them for sponsorship if we think.
The battle for QB2. I wrote down Mitch, big arm, ? Was my note. When they said they go, Mitch has got a big arm. I said, I don't know if I 100% agree with that.
I wrote down super athlete ? Mitch ? Listen, he is a very good athlete, but when you talk about an NFL player being a super athlete,
super athlete. That's a direct quote. A super athlete. I was like, Josh
Mike
Allen
has a live arm,
but Mitch.
Well, I did like hearing that.
Well,
Mike White has a live arm. He does. Jenna, you've talked about it. Like you think of Mike White as a guy who's got some of the juice. Like he's that kind of player. And Sean said, it's just those conversations on the sideline with Terry Pagula. But like when he said, we'll give, both of them get their opportunities. I'm very curious to see how that plays out. Does Mike White get a shot with the ones? And the reason being the backup doesn't get those. If you want him to be the backup, you want them to at least get some time with the ones in case he needed to play. I'd like to see Mike White get some of that. I don't know if we'll see that in Chicago, either in the practice, the joint practice, or in the game. But honestly, watching both of them, they both made plays after slow starts. But I think Mike White at least deserves the opportunity to see what he can do.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is a really good comment from George McKay saying, I like White's ceiling, but he needs to raise his floor. I think that's fair because I think the floor of Mitch Trubisky is higher, but I do think the ceiling of Mike White's is higher. So it's just about what can he do to kind of make sure that the lows aren't so low.
So we've got 2 episodes in, and there hasn't been anything on Keon, nothing on Shakir, nothing on Milano, and nothing on really Ed, which I think is surprising.
And also really Bean, I feel like.
He's a lot of sound with Brandon Bean. Unfortunately, none from our podcast. But, they did a full interview with him. They did a full interview with Sean, and they used a lot of Brandon in that case. I thought a decent amount today. And then they used him in the booth again. So, but you're right. It's not been, you saw a little bit of the background on Sean, obviously what they talked about with the cancer. But with Bean, there really hasn't been that. It's just been him commenting on his players and how hold-ins are just the new version of hanging out. Kind of, right? Hold-ins are fun.
They're not how they used to.
Yeah. So, yeah, in terms of other player, I mean, there are some other personalities and other guys that would be. So, we've gotten Trey, we've gotten Dion. But you're right. And I don't know how it plays out now because now it's fully in Buffalo. They'll have the trip to Chicago this week and then the other preseason games. So we'll see how it plays out. I would say I like the football stuff, even though we see a lot of it. I like that. I think they got some of that in there. But I want more meeting rooms. I want individual meetings with a player and a coach. I want somebody getting chewed out a little bit or demanding. One of the assistant coaches, maybe. Kelly Skipper's an underrated guy. Like, he is a very important guy as a running backs coach, and they like him. Al Holcomb got a lot of play in this one. So sometimes you see those guys. I want to see him in a meeting telling a guy, get your act together because the cuts are coming. Like, that does happen, and I want to see it happen in the show. So that's my 2 cents.
All right.
Oh,
Dan.
did you see?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really good, RJ.
That is real. That's really good.
That's a deep cut.
That is a deep cut. We appreciate that.
Josh says, bro, I agree with Mike, bro. More of dudes getting chewed out, bro.
Well said.
Bro? Come
Right,
on.
bro.
Weren't you just they say bro a lot?
Yeah.
Is that, I don't know. I feel like we've been around football players a lot, but I'd never heard the word bro used so much.
Yeah, it was up there.
So Beth is saying, I can't see the show covering meetings. It's not meetings like normal work meetings. To me, it's more, it's a different setting and it's a different tone. A lot of times these meetings take. It is definitely a top-down thing. It is coaches on a player telling them what they have to do. And in that case, one of the things they told him was he can leave the meeting. But
you can take a break. It's like, they're like, he's so great. He's here in the meetings. And then the next shot is, you can leave. It was like, what are we doing? This is what the cut is?
I don't feel like we touched on the Buffalo Joe stuff as much. I thought that was pretty.
I love the stuff in Lancaster. Like, we know a lot of that, but that is cool for a hometown guy.
Yeah. I think it just puts
to get that opportunity.
Like him going to training camp, like him waiting for autographs as a child and now be able to have that same experience.
And I'm glad Takeo came through for him.
I know,
me Spikes too. Was a really good bill. Yeah.
Isn't it unbelievable that they have that photo?
That's so good.
Do you know what I mean? Like, what are the odds? You take that photo 20 years ago and
I think it's funny. You're right, because it is different time. Like, you had to take that picture, develop it,
hold on to that picture for 20 years.
Because we always joke around, like, at least me with like my mom now, and obviously with Renee with our kids. And I'm like, I was never going to be a big star because my parents don't have enough pictures of me. Like, you see, like, like you have Bryce Harper, like videos of him 2 years old, like hitting, and you're like, well, this guy was meant to be. I now take so many videos of my kids because I'm like, you never know when this kid's going to be the next star. And when they
roll,
you're going to need the feature of when they talk to the family, but it's all on a phone. It's all digital. Like, I can email it and save it forever to have those pictures. Shout out to Mrs. Andreessen to scrapbook them and set them away.
Dan, it wasn't about the photos. It was that you couldn't hit the curveball. That's why they knew.
That was it. That was it.
And maybe the photos too.
Yeah.
But
my mom probably has like cameras that are still like film that's still not developed. Like it's probably in like a bureau somewhere of like, I was gonna get around to that.
Just 20
parents can
down
put in their
there.
back pocket. Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Mike?
No, I was just looking at some of the takes. JPS has a take. Shavers 5 TDs by week 10. That sounds like not a Dan take, but that sounds like the type of take you would have. Maybe not about Shavers, but that would be aggressive. 5 TDs this year would be something to see, but we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
I was a third child, so even less photos than that.
Wife and I are sitting there. It's like we did the pictures of like every month with Shane, and she's like, we haven't done any of those with Ryan. It's like second kid, you're busier. It's fine. I hear you, JoJo.
And then what about Taylor?
She's just so easy. She's a breeze.
You know what they say? First kid drops the pacifier, you boil it clean. Second kid, you brush it off. Third kid, you send the dog to get it. So
we were at the library the other day, and we were feeding Taylor like little puffs for her to eat, and one fell on the floor. And we're like, oh, don't give that to Taylor. We're like, Ryan, do you want it? And Ryan ate it. Second kid, Ryan's fine. Learning stuff isn't that bad.
He'll take it.
My gosh. If you drop something on your floor in the kitchen, will you pick it up and eat it?
Yes.
Yeah, same.
Well, our house is also like sterile, hospital sterile because of Renee.
Oh,
shout out Renee.
Zach is like, what? That's disgusting. I'm like, it was on the floor for like a second.
Yeah.
It's fine.
The only thing is, we love Winnie, but man, that dog hair is everywhere. So you got to look at it when you pick it up.
We don't have a dog.
And it's a black hair, and it's like, that's a little much. It's got to be something. It's got to be something I really want. And then I just go, bro, I'm eating this thing. That's the way it goes. Alex says, have they featured Coleman yet? No, they really haven't. They've mentioned him. They showed him catching the ball, but
I feel like they've tried to give him a pretty good edit. Like there were.
You mean not showing any drops, just the catches?
Like they could have shown drops. They haven't, but they could have had that opportunity, and they haven't. So they haven't featured him, but they also haven't dogged him either.
Yeah, in past Hard Knocks, when I've seen it, like they will have somebody who maybe has a rough game, and then how did they come back? I think that's cool stuff. I haven't seen any of that through 2 episodes so far. So I don't know.
You think that's the Bills conscientiously like trying to like pump up their second round player or second round and second year player? Like, do you think that's like intentional for them of like, hey, we want to make sure that this is a good edit?
Yeah. I mean, unless the plan,
there's a lot of that going on.
If the plan is to show good highlights, you're going to, you know what I mean? Just in the realm of highlights. If the plan is to do a piece on him and what he needs to be better and how Josh is working with him and what they're saying, you got to show the bad with the good. And I think that's better storytelling. I think it finds it more interesting for people just to say, here's a great catch. Well, a lot of guys make great catches in training camp. It's about growing as a player and what they expect out of him. Now, maybe that comes down the line. I don't know. But, we're 2 episodes in and that hasn't really been the case.
I love, we're going to do more of these live shows throughout the year. Obviously, we started doing them more last season.
We'll do comments Thursday nights. Yeah.
But Jenna, shout out staff. Mike, congrats. This is like Dan and the Danettes on the Dan Patrick show. We are staff. Shout out Blitz. We are staff.
But I think that person's trying to be nice, which we appreciate, but it is funny.
Yeah, it is. It's Mike and the Bros. That's what it is. Jenna's just one of the bros.
I do feel like that most of the time.
In Search of Summer says, do you think they listen to any feedback before they make next week's edit since they are doing it in real time? I think there's a tone. They kind of are figuring out what the team, I shouldn't say wants, but is going to object to. I think it's more like if there is anything like that. I just think the storylines they've gone with have all been good, but very positive. You know what I mean? The Buffalo, and that's great. I mean, it's great in that way. There just could be something else. And the James Cook thing, let's be honest, I do think it's been underplayed. I mean, he held in to end the last episode. You could have done it in the first episode, no question. It happened late, but it could have been in there. And then he was in and out during the second week, so it could have been played into more. And now he's back, so at least back for today. So I don't know. And that's not to be intentionally negative, but we're talking about a superstar player, and it got a passing mention in the show. So
yeah.
I don't know.
Do you feel like that's more the editorial side from them?
I think it's that message has been delivered.
Got it.
So I don't necessarily think it's sitting there going, take this out, take that out. I mean, if that was the case, I mean, somebody should be in there pounding on the thing going, why aren't we in Mike's backyard with his staff doing a podcast? That would have been the case.
This is fair, though. Someone asking, what more could you say about Cook?
You could interview Cook. I think Cook wanted attention, and I think they could have used sound with Cook. He talked at the beginning of camp. They have all that sound.
That's true.
I just find it interesting.
You have Sean from postgame.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're in everything. They are everywhere.
Crazy. I don't know why. Like today, we were in Orchard Park, obviously for practice, and like walking in, and they were there. I don't know why I was surprised, but I was like, "Oh, yeah, you're still here." Like, of course you're going to be at the facility. But...
And I'm thinking of all the interviews we've gotten. Like
Shout out, Josh is killing it tonight.
I know he's having a night. I was thinking of all the. I was thinking of interviews that we've done. Like I was in there for Ray after he made his field goal, or extra point. So I don't know. Now do they show that in the next step? Show the interview? I don't think so. Like they had an opportunity to show it, but they shot all that stuff, and he was funny. Like I don't know and that's all positive stuff, but I don't know how much of that stuff was thought of. But what my point is. They're there for everything, every press conference, in the locker room. I mean, this is no slight to the people working there. They are.
No,
they are working. Yeah.
Hey, we're hoping to come out with new merch soon, so stand by for that. And maybe shout out to you guys for all these great ideas. Appreciate that, Jennifer.
Yeah.
All right. Tell Micah I said hi.
What?
Tell Micah, her son.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you said Michael. Like, I thought you were talking about Mike. Catalina.
Shout wipe.
As members of his staff, I wasn't sure what we were talking about.
Yeah. Okay. You guys, you're doing a pretty good job, staff. I'm appreciating.
So funny. Mike and the Mikeettes. We got to workshop that a little bit.
Mike and staff was so good. That's one of my favorite comments. Mike and staff have a great podcast. We do. I agree.
That could be a t-shirt. Yeah. Maybe that's on my mug. I don't have a mug. Somebody was asking me this week.
I think that would be.
I don't have a mug. So maybe it's
came from Mike, stayed for the staff.
Okay. Pops Mafia said I was waiting for the Dan versus the Jugs machine. Like we would have so much good content from them. We gave them content. They didn't decide to use it, but that was fine.
Mike
we could give them more.
Wait. Mike and staff on the front, and the back is Buffalo plus bra.
I think
that's
you got
the shirt.
I think you got it.
That's pretty good, Daniel. Oh my God.
Watch Buffalo plus bra.
Bruh. They said bro a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else before we wrap up?
No, I'm looking.
People here, so we really appreciate that. That's really cool.
I'm looking here, and we'll look at some more comments while we're going. But honestly, I did like Dion going, which one of the rookies is going to be nervous, which is kind of funny. Talking about the D lineman there, that was good. Yeah. Other than that, I think we hit on
This is a good question, Josh, again. So what do they focus on from here? Look back at all the heartbreak, more Josh, maybe life in Buffalo for the players. They haven't even talked to a rookie, I don't think. I could see the Bills actually being like, we don't want you to talk to the rookie.
I mean, but that's lame if that's the case.
I'm not. You do this all the time. I'm not saying.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm saying is if they really did that, that would be lame. I think. TJ Sanders is a good talker. Dion was good. They're funny. Like that, they could do a piece with the two of those guys as these young players on the D line. Like I hope I'm not saying this. I hope that's not the case. Like the Bills are in pretty good shape with their players. Like I think most of them are good with us. They'd be good on camera. The ones that like to talk. I mean, he ain't getting Milano, but because he doesn't talk to anybody. But
could you imagine if the next episode is just all about Milano?
And he just nonstop talking.
It would be unbelievable. We've covered that dude since 2017, and I feel like I've talked to him like 4 times since.
When Catherine and Elena from Buffalo News and ESPN got him last year, maybe it was right before the playoffs, and they said they gave the stats of how many words he said, the time, the questions that were asked, and it was like 3.2 words per answer. It was just unbelievable, the analytics of talking to Matt Milano.
Yeah.
I think the most he ever talked was after he had signed the contract. And we had him on a Zoom. Yeah.
He was really good after the Bengals playoff loss. Mike, you and I went in the locker room.
Yeah, he was.
He was very thoughtful about and deep and poignant about all that went wrong, wasn't good enough, it's on us, all of that stuff. So that's the last time I've talked to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I asked Deion Kane, because Deion Kane works out with Mike White, if he had ever seen that shot of Milano just laying out his buddy Mike White. And he said he hadn't seen it. So I said, well, I don't think it's the kind of thing Mike's going to bring up. I just didn't know whether you had ever seen it before. So, but I think they're good now. He just try to keep him away. So future episodes, look, I think they're going to focus a little bit on this Chicago thing when they get the second team there and they're doing the practice. That always adds a little bit of something to it. And then like you guys have talked about, there's a lot of interesting players and people. I was trying to think more on the coaching staff too. I thought Joe looked really good in this episode. Joe Brady. I thought the sound that we get to hear more of when they have him mic'd up was great. And I could definitely see something more on Joe just as a coach and a guy with, a bigger future maybe at some point. But I think that kind of thing, but we'll see. We'll see where they go.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. We always appreciate it. Dan and I will be in Orchard Park tomorrow. As the Bills back to practice, they will be off traveling on Thursday, doing practice on Friday in Chicago, and then Sunday, the preseason night game.
Yeah.
Preseason night games should be
running clock.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
illegal, but
yeah, there's usually a lot of this one is a network game. It's on Fox. So so we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But yeah, they take off. That's a lengthy trip if you think about for normal travel for them. I mean, they're going on Thursday and they get back middle of the morning on Monday. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah. All right. So for Mike and Dan, I'm Jenna. We'll catch you next time here on the Buffalo Plus channel. Please be sure once again to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thank you for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. For Mike and the staff, we'll catch you next time here on the Buffalo Plus channel presented by Connors and Ferris. Bro.